Well, the first thing I just kind of wanted to preface with is that nothing will ever replace the face-to-face human contact. So everything that you're doing with technology or social media is kind of part of your whole way in which you're looking at business and way in which you're looking at engaging with people. And what you're trying to do is expand your network. But there's many instances where this might be an opportunity for you to meet and connect up with new people that eventually you will have a face-to-face relationship with. So that's probably like the most important thing. There are different types of social networks that service different types of needs depending upon what kind of community that you're looking to engage with. And so Twitter, for example, is one of those networks that crosses a lot of different parameters for people because it's really become a huge search engine, which means that you can find a lot more information and therefore you can connect up with a lot more people. Often people get nervous that they have to, post something witty on Twitter or they somehow have to make sense in 140 characters or less. And that can be really intimidating. Yeah. So it's not about fancy prose. In many instances, it's just about sound bites and passing information along. And so the best way to kind of use that particular network is to follow and retweet people. So you can build a network that way by searching through Twitter and finding different types of organizations, individuals, companies that you want to connect up with or you want to keep aware of the types of things that they're doing. So that kind of tool is about connecting and creating a community. I'm in the mobile space. And from a technology infrastructure or development or evangelists of Android devices or iPhone devices, they tend to engage a lot more in forums and chat rooms and write blogs and that sort of thing and connect up with people that way. So you have to find the right type of tool and then you can kind of build from there and people may be more inclined to connect with you on Twitter if you've shown them that there's a value to that. But more importantly, you need to go to them rather than expecting that they're going to come to you. Laptop computers and notebooks and iPads and tablets and mobile devices such as iPhone and Android have become a lot more accessible to the average consumer. Those are very handy devices and the types of applications, they're very, in many instances, interchangeable. So you can have an application on your desktop that you can have on your iPad that you can have on your mobile device to keep connected and keep that communication consistent. There's lots of software tools, and I think that's really what it ultimately comes down to. So it's one thing to have the right type of, device for that technology. Then it's a case of kind of sourcing out the types of services and products that are going to be valuable for you. Skype, Fring. There's
What's
lots
Fring?
of Fring. Fring is similar to a Skype.
Okay.
It basically enables sort of a peer-to-peer conversation using a wireless internet rather than your cell phone network. But it also incorporates video. So the reason why I'm suggesting a Skype or a Fring or that type of thing is because you can do video chats. And actually Gmail has a GChat and it has a video component to it. So there's lots of solutions like that where you can actually connect up with people remotely. Yeah, I don't want to be a brand evangelist for, a Google, but I would have to say that is a great tool because with Google, you have Google Docs, you have GChat, you have a calendar. You have all these different types of things that are integrated and it doesn't cost you anything. And also, it basically, the data is stored in the cloud, meaning that you don't have to have, a souped up hard drive to manage any of this information. I think the thing to understand is that we are in a digital economy, meaning that we have a knowledge-based economy. So there's a lot more data that's flowing through our systems today than there ever was before. And there needs to be a place to store that data. So cloud computing is kind of a sharing of networks and hard drives and that type of thing so that information can be parsed out and exist in all sorts of places, but not necessarily on your one computer. So
when it crashes,
you could lose all your information, backing up your information.
Or you leave it in the taxi and then you never get it again. Yeah.
Right.
Then.
Which again, actually even going back, again, not being a brand evangelist, but a Google type of program means that all that information is sitting out there. And so as a small business, you're so busy doing so many things that you will forget to back up your data, right? Now, I mean, you should do that, and there's lots of processes to do that, but it is worthwhile considering, your own fail-safe mechanisms to kind of make sure that you don't lose access to that information. I think that what people are starting to wrap their heads around is the importance of measurability, right?
Yeah.
And actually really knowing what your objectives are and laying those objectives out. And those are general business principles. So what you're looking for are tools to make sure that you do have a way to track these things that you're throwing out there. What are you getting back?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Facebook, for example, which is a valuable tool for groups or events.
Yeah.
When you set that up, it actually sends you a Facebook page update on a weekly basis. So you can see what your general metrics are. Those benchmarks are very important. And I realize I'm kind of focusing more on social media, but that's an important thing. People throw their conversation out there and then don't know how to actually take back and analyze that information to know if they're doing the right type of thing, right?
Yeah.
There are dashboards that you can use to also better manage these types of, this bits of information coming in. By a dashboard, I mean a Hootsuite or a TweetDeck. Hootsuite, actually, I know, again, different languages. But if you want tools, these are really, they're free.
Yeah.
Downloadable pieces of software. They are integrated between your laptop, your iPad, your mobile device, but they allow you to take a look at those metrics. Who are you reaching out to, right? What is the feedback that's coming through? So you as a business owner need to determine what those objectives are and what kinds of results are you looking for. Is it important that people are just following you so that they're just keeping up with your information? Is it important that people are conversing back with you, so you're really kind of establishing a connection? There are dashboards, again, that if you have a more web-based business like Google Analytics, that allow you to look at, well, what's happening on my website, right? Who's showing up? How long are they staying? What pages did they stay longer on versus other pages? So there's lots of ways to kind of measure all this stuff that's happening out there. The world of the internet happens a lot faster, which is the great part about it. I think that businesses that really are utilizing those tools can take advantage of kind of accelerating, their opportunities for success, because things do happen much faster. So I think that is really an individual business objective, once again. But if you put something out there, you're going to see results right away. But if you don't see results, at least you can look at the metrics of, well, why were people not engaged? One of the things we didn't talk about, and I know it's getting very technical, but search engine optimization, otherwise known as SEO. So that's tagging the words and the concepts and that type of thing that you're using in this media world. And that tagging is very important for the searchability of things. So when I reference Twitter, for example, when you hashtag something, which is the little, cross sign there, you've made that term searchable. And that's one of the most important things when you're using social media. You need to make your information searchable. That is how you're going to see results. That is how you're going to see whether it's immediate or not. For me, it's really important to understand that you have to look for the type of technology that's really suitable for what you do. So there's a great book called Friends with Benefits, which is a social media book co-authored by Darren Barefoot and Julie Szabo out of Vancouver. And they did this really great job of making that particular point, right? It's not about trying to be everything to everyone all the time. And nor is it about, well, if everyone's over here, I should go here too. You need to do some research and learn about where your audience actually exists. I think that if you're going to use social media as a tool, then you just have to roll your shirt sleeves up and just be prepared to get your hands dirty and figure it out for yourself. And you need to practice engaging with an audience in that environment, like all the time. And that is the only way you'll get comfortable finding your voice in that arena. And that is the only way that you will build up a community of people in that arena, because it's like going to your favorite coffee shop. If you are showing up there every day, the barista knows the type of coffee that you like without even having to ask for it. And you get to know the people in that community that you may connect up with for different reasons. So social media is no different than how you would build relationships and engage with people in any other environment.